Hey, what's up, guys? Replay viewers, welcome. Thanks for checking this out. It's going to be a good episode, so feel free to swipe and share. If you're on an iPhone, you swipe to the right. If you're on an Android, I believe that is from the bottom to the top, and that will get you a sharing. Come on in, guys. Hopefully you're doing amazing this evening. Hey Justin, it's Helen. What's up, Helen? How are you? Glad to see you. See who else we got in the house. Type your let's see. Type your first name. Brittany O, I see, is here. Helen is here. Justin Thomas is here. Terry is here and says, hey everybody. Alright guys, so hey, do me a favor. If you know anybody that would be interested in this topic of discovering their life's purpose, follow suit with Helen and invite your followers. I would love to get a few people in here. I'm going to deliver this thing regardless of who shows up, because I believe it's very important, and you guys need to hear this. It's been very helpful for me, and I want to share this with you. I was actually going to reteach something that I spoke about earlier today, which was a morning routine. But I thought, you know what? I think this is more important. So let's see. We got Hello Jay. Terry invited one person. Thank you so much. Summer Dreams is in the house. What's up, Summer Dreams? Thank you for showing up. I appreciate you being here. Hello Jay. I'm guessing your name is Jay. Well, hello Jay. Tony Hutchison joined. What's up, Tony Hutchison? Thanks for being here, man. Come on in, guys. Come on in. And sorry, I'm a little stopped up. I've been super. I've been like couch bound for the last 3 days. Joe Cash 166 is in the house. What's up, Joe Cash? So, guys, do me a favor. Those that are hopping on, I'm gonna share with you guys. If you're sitting here and thinking, I have no clue what my purpose here is, then this is definitely the broadcast for you. So do me a favor and invite your followers. Share this with your people. Do what I call showing me some G-love, which means share this on Facebook using the hashtag Gloverscope. Share this on Twitter using the hashtag Gloverscope, and then invite your followers here on Periscope. I would greatly appreciate it. And you know what? I don't even care if you use the hashtag Gloverscope. I just want to get this message out to as many people as I possibly can, because it's a message that is, oh man, so crucially, vitally important. Atlas 22, what's up, man? I was just thinking about you today. Matter of fact, I'm out here at the river, and I was doing some reflecting, and this blue truck drives by, and I could have swore it was you. I thought, holy shit, that is Kimball right there in front of me. So I don't know if you're in Arkansas in a blue truck, but if not, man, you got a twin here. So yeah, I'm gonna show you how to discover your life's purpose. So J Boom is in the house. What's up, J Boom? Thank you so much for hopping on. Again, those of you that are just hopping on, hey, do me a favor and share this with your people if you think that it'll be beneficial. You can include the hashtag Gloverscope or not, doesn't matter, but let's get some people in here, because I'm going to give you, specifically, I'm going to give you 4 questions that you can ask that put a lot of thought into these questions. And if you really just take a few minutes to answer these questions for yourself, it will help you discover your purpose, why you're here. Because here's the reality, guys. We are all here for a purpose. We're meant to do something great. And like, not one person, if you're hearing this, not one of you are here without a purpose. All right, so that's the first thing to understand. The second thing to understand is that whenever you came to this earth, your purpose was already put inside of you. So it's not like all you had to do is, like, so I've got some notes. I'm gonna actually read through, and I'll share with you guys. So here's how I'm gonna. There's 4 questions that you can ask, and if you answer these 4 questions for yourself, it will help you discover your purpose. And I'm going to share my answers to those 4 questions if you guys would like. But there's 2 things, all right? So the first thing is we all have a purpose that we're here to accomplish here while we're on Earth, all right? If you guys agree to that, type number 1. Take my jacket off. I look weird because I don't have the Gloverscope shirt on. I do have it on underneath there. Need a boost these days. All right, so check it out if you hadn't seen it. It's there we go. Hashtag Gloverscope. Just Gloverscope.com. All right, so we're all here to accomplish something on Earth, right? So we all have a purpose. 22 people on this broadcast. That's a good number to get into this. I think Atlas would agree. All right, so the second thing to understand is our purpose is something that has already been born within us, all right? You came to this school that we call Earth, right, with the purpose already inside of you. So the key, where most people fall short of figuring out what is it that I'm here for, it's because they look outside of themselves. They don't look inside. And that's where the answer is. The answer is inside of you. You have to turn inside in order to figure out this answer. And for years, I didn't get that. I tried to find purpose outside of myself. And it wasn't until I realized that my purpose was inside, before I even came to this earth, that I once I understood that, I realized, okay, well, I need to turn inside and search inside of myself for the answer to the questions that align me with my soul's purpose. So I want to share that with you here today. And you guys tell me, I want to deliver this content in the way that's most pleasurable to you. So how would you like me to do this? All right. Would you like me to give the 4 questions? Give us the questions. Man, somebody is impatient. Calm down. The questions are coming. You gotta be patient. This is like a relationship. That's like walking into somewhere, and I'm not even going into what that is. But anyway, they're coming. So here's my question to you. Do you want me to give all 4 of the questions up front and then go through my answers of each one? Or do you want me to go through, give you the first question and then read my answer to it and sort of do some engaging? All right, so here's the thing. If you want me to give all 4 questions up front, type the word first. All right, type the word first if you want me to give all 4 questions right up front. If you'd like me to give them one by one and elaborate, type the word elaborate. All right, we got a yes, a first, a yes, a first. One at a time with answers. All right, we got a no, elaborate, one by one, elaborate. All right, who else we got? It's about even. What do you think? Elaborate, elaborate. Looks like elaborate's coming around the corner, taking the lead. What else? Elaborate. All right, so it looks like elaborate. You guys think elaborate 1? All right, so elaborate 1. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you the 4 questions because I know there's some people here that are super, just impatient. And that's okay. I am too. I get it. I'm not hating, I promise. I'm the same way. I'm like, give me the stuff. I want this specific thing. And here's the reality, guys. What I'm actually about to share with you, it's worth the wait, I can promise you that. I'm going to give you the 4 questions right up front because I think it's important for all of us to understand what those 4 questions are. And then I'm going to go into each one. So here's the 4 questions, all right? You don't have to write these down. You can write them down as I go through them. Question number 1. What am I most passionate about? What am I most passionate about? Question number 2. What am I doing when time seems to fly by? What am I doing when time seems to fly by? Question number 3, what brings me joy? And question number 4, what types of books, movies, and magazines do I like to consume? All right? And I'm going to give you a hint here. If you answer these 4 questions, if you turn inside and answer these 4 questions honestly to yourself, spend some time here, guys. I don't care if you listen. You can listen to my answers. I'm going to share my answers. But even if you left right now, and you write these questions down, and you just spend some time, spend the night answering these questions for yourself. Write a page for each question. I promise you, if you do this, your soul's purpose, what you're supposed to do, it's in there somewhere, all right? Maybe for some of you, answering those questions it'll give you some clues, and you'll start to connect the dots, and you'll see what those things are. Because here's the thing, guys. Your purpose is where your joy and your passion intersect. All right? Where your joy and your passion intersect, that is your purpose, my friend. And so you got to find that out. And for most of us, like, we don't, it's silly to think, like, for me at least, like, I was thinking, all right, well, I'm a 30-plus-year-old dude. I'm 32, I think. Does anybody else have that question of, like, you don't know how old you are sometimes? I'm always like a year or two off. It's the weirdest thing. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. Okay, so where was I going? What was I saying? What was I even saying? Does anybody know what I was saying? Eight. Lie about it too much. Yes, 8. Lie about it too much. 32 plus, dude. All right, yeah. So let's go into the 4 questions. All right. What's the first question? Who wants me to read my answers? And by the way, guys, yes, where passion and joy intersect, that is your purpose. That's how you find your purpose. And isn't it funny how, if this is where I'm at, thank you so much. Isn't it funny how at 32 years old, I think, well, yeah, it's obvious. Everybody should know what brings them joy, what they're passionate about. But for me, that was kind of a hard question to answer. How many of you guys can relate? How many of you guys have actually sat down and tried to answer that question? I'm curious. How many of you, like, when I say question number 1, what am I most passionate about? I will say the questions again, absolutely. So question number 1, in fact, is what am I most passionate about? All right? So that's question number 1. What am I most passionate about? And how many of you, I mean, me as a 32-year-old dude, like, think about, all right, well, what am I most passionate about? That seems to be a very difficult question to answer. It should be simple, right? Like, you would think by now I would have figured this out. And here's the reality, guys. Like, you just got to you got to take the time to sit down and answer these questions. And I didn't do that for a long time. And so I'm going to read you my answers. And I want you guys, I'm going to read my answers to all 4 of these questions, actually. And I would like you guys to try to see where my joy and passion intersect. All right? So I've got like a half a page answer for each of the 4 questions. But first, hi from Brazil. Hello from Brazil. Hey, type in where you're from. I would love to see, type your first name and where you're from. I want to tell everyone here hello. And then I will get into my answers of the 4 questions. And you guys can see what my purpose is and see how my passion and my joy intersect. And I'd like you, this will be sort of a real-time experiment of you helping me discover my purpose. All right? Now, I, to an extent, already know what my purpose is, but going through this process was extremely enlightening for me, so I want to share it with you. So type your first name and where you're from, and we'll get started. I'm going to do a quick shout out to everybody that's on here and listening and willing to look at my answers and listen to my answers and try to identify and help me make the connection of where my joy and my passion intersect. So if you're willing to do that and you're here on this broadcast listening to my voice right now, type your first name and where you're from. That way I know that I have some people here listening. And if not many people care, then I won't read my answers, and that's fine. Ashton from Virginia. What's up, Ashton from Virginia? Welcome. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate you being here. Isabel from Sao Paulo. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Very cool. Juggy from Northern California. Welcome, Juggy. I appreciate that. Jug Bouncer. I like that name. Brenda from Tampa. What's up, Brenda? Thank you so much for being here. John Crow is in the house. What's up, John? All right. Who else? Terry from Indiana. Okay, so I got a few of you. The rest of you, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to read through them anyway. Brittany from Orlando, thank you guys so much. So if you haven't already invited your followers and you know anybody that would benefit from hearing this message, Elaine Horsham from PA. What's up, Elaine? Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. All right. Okay, so let's get into the questions. Question number 1, what am I most passionate about? So for me, here's what I wrote down, all right? I want to help others accomplish their goals and live their dream life. I don't necessarily want to be in the, quote, motivational or personal development category. So that's something that I became aware of. I don't necessarily like that idea of, being just another person in the personal development space. But I do want to help people accomplish their goals. I want to wake up every day and feel like I'm adding good to the world. It doesn't really matter on what that looks like at the moment. As long as I feel like I'm doing my part in bringing light into the earth in a good way, then I'm good with it. I want to help others realize that they have unlimited power inside of them and can do so much more during their time here on earth. Because the reality is, guys, we underestimate our potential all the time, and therefore we don't give it everything that we have, and therefore we don't live our full purpose here on earth. We don't do what we came here to do. So I want to inspire people to do more. I want to inspire people to be able to rise above the shit when it happens and win and push through and get that victory. I want to do something that sets a good example for future generations. I want to play a significant... I got a phone call. Give me a 1 if you're still with me. I got a phone call. I'm back now. Give me a 1 if you're still with me. All right, cool. So I was just finished up on that one. So I want to create things that pump out success stories long after I'm gone. I want to wake up and feel proud about what I'm about to do for that day. I'm passionate about helping people learn the skill sets that will help them rise above tough times. So that's what I wrote down for my answer to what am I passionate about. Okay? So there's that answer. So hopefully that gives you some insight. That's what I wrote down. All right, so the next question is, what am I doing when time seems to fly by? For me, here's what I wrote down. Time goes by quickly when I'm creating stuff, content. 1 hour seems to go by in just minutes. Sometimes when I meditate and I'm in prayer, time flies by. Sometimes, however, time seems to drag by, and it's frustrating as hell because I'm in my mind and not doing it quite, what I think is the right way to do it. I love delivering good presentations to a live audience when the audience is engaged. So you guys being here and interacting and sharing and giving hearts and commenting and answering my questions, I love that. When I'm doing it, you guys know I can talk for a while and I get into, better stuff comes out of me when I have that interaction, and whenever I can get in that zone and I feel like that people are getting value from it, that's when I feel like I'm contributing the most, and that's when I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, right? And coincidentally, that's also when time seems to just fly by. I can't tell you how many videos or trainings or presentations I've done when it was supposed to be 20 minutes and it ended up being like an hour, or like a 60-minute webinar turns into like 5 hours. So I get caught up in things like that. On the flip side, when the audience is not engaged, it's paralyzing to me and to other people, I think. That's a big scary thing. It puts all kinds of past stories come up and all this bullshit about nobody cares, nobody's interested, all this stuff. And you got to be able to push past all that, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. As long as you're living your purpose, as long as I feel good about what I'm doing, what I'm waking up and actually talking about. I mean, if you guys show up here and get value on the live call, great, amazing. If you invite your people, great, amazing. They get value too. I'm doing what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing. Therefore, my life is more joyful. However, this same video may get seen a year down the road, 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, and it may inspire somebody to do something great. That's what is exciting to me. That I'm actually doing something. Damn, my voice is getting worse as I am talking. See if I can make it through this thing with a voice. All right, so let me finish reading this. Time seems to fly by when I'm following my current morning routine. So my current morning routine is super by the minute and just full of the things that fill me up. The things that fill me up spiritually, energetically, mentally, like to get my mind feeling like my mind is on point, like my relationships are good, I just go through all these different things. The thing that I need to like serve me, I do that first in the morning, and I have a very specific routine that I follow. And when I do that, it's a 2-hour routine, and it seems like it's 30 minutes. So that's something. When you know, time seems to fly by. Time seems to fly by when I'm hanging around people that are getting things done. So when I'm hanging around people that are getting shit done, that are making stuff happen, that aren't waiting around, like hearing ideas and like going back to the room. So events, for example, when I go to an event and people teach an idea, and then I see people go back to the room, implement that idea, get results, and come back and tell me about the results. And like when I'm in those type of environments, I'm more inspired to do that same type of thing. And when I do that same type of thing, like that, you know, time flies by for me in those settings. And the last thing I wrote down is time seems to fly by when I'm doing things that I love to do, fun things, and I'm not really thinking about work or business. You know, because let's be honest, when thinking about work or business, for a lot of times, especially when starting over, and that's essentially what I'm doing starting over right now. I have no idea who just took a screenshot, but geez, that's funny. Thank you. Okay, so like when you're starting a business, like a lot of times that there's a lot of stress behind that. Like a lot of pressure can be put on you to make certain results happen, and that can be overwhelming sometimes. And guys, I've been through this twice now, going through it, not the first time, not the second time, but actually not even the third time. I've been through this process of essentially starting over in my business, in my life, in my career multiple times, and each time brings its own little challenges, and also each time brings its own rewards. So anyway, I just felt inspired to say that. So that's the answer that I wrote down to what I'm doing when time seems to fly by. All right. So there's 2 more questions. What brings me joy? And the final question, what types of books, movies, magazines do I like to consume? So I'm going to give you my answer to those 2 questions. But what I want to know, there's 11 people still hanging out here, and I appreciate all of you. I want to know, like, is this valuable so far? Like, is hearing my answers valuable? Like, are you guys getting some insights on, like, what you could potentially do? And if not, that's okay. I realize that, you know, there's hearts coming. That's great. I appreciate that. Are you guys getting some value? Type a funny word. Who's this? Alana S. says yes. Awesome. Thank you. I'm glad you're getting value. Okay, so there's some other hearts coming in, so maybe there's other people getting value. There's 10 of you. If you're hanging on and not getting value, I'm questioning why you're hanging on. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that what I'm delivering, I know is valuable. So I know you're still here, so you're getting value. So I'm going to rock it out. All right. My answer to what brings you joy. But what I want to do before I give you my answer is I want you to just type 1 or 2 things that bring you joy. Maybe as I'm giving my answer, I want you guys to type a couple of things that are bringing you joy. And if you're finding this, thank you so much, Cynthia, for sharing on Twitter. I appreciate it. If you guys are finding this valuable, share. If you haven't shared on Twitter yet, share on Twitter. If you haven't shared on Facebook yet, share it on Facebook. If you haven't invited your followers yet on Periscope, do that. They'll be glad you did. I still got some time here, so I'll chat. We'll make sure that we add some value to them. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, guys. All right. So, what brings you guys joy? Consider answering that question for yourself as I read to you my answer. What brings me joy? So here's what brings me joy: making my daughter laugh. Puppies, dogs laughing. I love that. Making my daughter laugh brings me joy. The feeling of successfully executing something brings me joy. Knowing that I put in work, hard work, and as a result, I'm able to experience that rush of success, that feeling of accomplishment, that brings me joy. Helping others accomplish things bring me joy. Helping others make forward progress brings me joy. Tipping big brings me joy. I love giving outrageously big tips at restaurants and at bars, and when I get my hair cut, and when, you know, to the people in baggage, you know, at the check-in at the airport, when I have to check bags. Like, I love people in the service-based industry. I love tipping ridiculously big. I don't know why. It brings me all kinds of joy. Picking up tabs brings me joy. I love doing that. I love paying for people's meals. I love buying people's drinks. If I were in a financial position to buy everybody's drink at every restaurant, there's a good chance that that's what I would do. Is I would have a night probably where I went out and I bought the entire people's, you know, meals or something. I don't know. Like, I love doing that. So that type of thing brings me joy. Doing extra special things for people just because, like, for no damn reason at all. That gives me so much joy. Doing extra special things for people just because, meditating and like being peaceful and taking a fucking minute during the day to just stop and breathe and slow down. Like, that's peaceful for me. That brings me all kinds of joy. Being able to be fully present with people, whether, you know, when I'm talking with them and I leave a conversation and I know that, all right, I heard what they said and I gave them some advice that I know, maybe they don't even know it yet, but I know that advice is going to make them think, and that advice will lead them down a path that is closer to their purpose and their joy and their ultimate goals. And when I can have a conversation with somebody and leave knowing that brings me joy. Discovering new things brings me joy. I love driving to new places that I've never been before. I love, you know, discovering new things, opening new packages, getting surprises. I love that kind of stuff. And then the last thing I wrote down is above average accomplishments makes me feel proud. Above average accomplishments. So when I can accomplish something that not the average person will accomplish, that makes me feel like, yeah, proud, which brings me joy. And matter of fact, I think that's one of my really big drivers is when I can do things that like running, participating in a triathlon. That's something that not your average Joe is going to go out and do. I haven't done it yet, but I'm training for it. I'm going to do it. You mark my words, I'm going to do it. I don't know when, but it will be soon. And you guys will hear about it. You'll see that, and you'll probably be able to tell after I do it the amount of joy. Like, I'll do a Periscope as soon as I finish. That will be the first thing that I do. And, you know, there's 5 of you right here watching this, or however many, who knows who's watching this. You know, if you're watching the recording, you know, that's great. There's 5 of you watching this live as I record it. If you guys are here and you're tuned in and you're watching me do that Periscope, maybe you'll be able to tell me. You'll remember me saying how it's actually going to feel, and you'll be able to remind me, you know, because I'm going to do a Periscope right after I do my my triathlon. I have no idea when that is, but I'll make it happen. And so you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. When I accomplish something that's above average, like, oh, that makes me so proud, and like I get so much joy out of that. So that is my answer for that question. All right, what is your answer to that question? And then the final question, I really need to like clear my nose and like spit this loogie, but I'm not going to. So I'm just gonna keep with the sound. We got one more question left. I'm on the last question, so this video will be wrapped up. But the last question is, what type of books, movies, and magazines do I like to consume? Here's what I wrote down. I like personal development magazines, growth books, anything on entrepreneurship. I enjoy movies that are inspirational. I enjoy movies that cause me to think bigger. I enjoy movies that seem to tell a story that I can relate to. So when I say, man, yeah, I've been there, or I connect with that person, like, I love that. Everybody does, I think. I love educational books on business and entrepreneurship, and I read marketing type of stuff. Like when I'm consuming my educational type, my consumption of content is mostly, it's educational stuff, because I feel like I'm meant to do more, right? And so I'm constantly striving to better myself. Why wouldn't I? Right? If that's what I truly believe, why wouldn't I? And maybe you're watching this right now, and maybe you're not watching as many educational things, or maybe you're not taking action on as many of those things as you should, or maybe there's some things that you're doing that you know you shouldn't be doing. Whatever it is, like, when you really think about, like, if I'm here to do that, maybe it's time to make that change. So anyway, let me get back to what I wrote down for what type of books, movies, and magazines I like to consume. I like educational books on business, entrepreneurship, marketing. I prefer to listen to audiobooks. That's my format. I prefer them to be short, to be honest. I don't like, I told you guys, I like the quick, like, to the point. That's the type of stuff I like to personally consume. It's not, however, the stuff that naturally comes out of me. Like, it takes me a little bit to get my thoughts out, and for my thoughts to evolve, and for me to unpack them. And honestly, I think that a lot of us, like, we're sort of, maybe we're a little bit too fast, and maybe it's a good thing, and maybe we should slow down a little bit sometimes. You know, there was a time, and I went through this productivity training in 2010, I think. It's called Wake Up Productive. And he told this story about, it was Eben Pagan, he told this story about, you know, there wasn't a time not too long ago when we as a species, if we wanted something to eat, what was the process of us getting something to eat? We went out and we hunted something and we killed it. And we had to find something and kill it. And then we had to cook it. We had to build the fire to cook it. And then we had to cook it. And then we could enjoy the meal. That was sort of the process. And that, now, if you think about it, it's like when we want something to eat, we want something that we can put in a microwave, push a button, and we stand in front of the damn microwave, like, waiting for it to end, saying, hurry the fuck up. Like, how impatient can we be sometimes? Sometimes we just have to slow down. Sometimes the content that we're looking for, sometimes the breakthroughs that we're looking for, are right in front of our fucking face. And pardon my language, guys. I usually don't cuss. This is just, it's something that's coming out from me. So, you know, it is what it is. If you're offended, I apologize. I truly do. But I'm not going to say that it's going to be the last time, because that's just me. All right. So anyway, there we have it. So I lost a few people. So maybe the cussing ran them off. I don't know. I like funny movies, action movies, and movies that tell a good story. So there we have it. That is what I wrote down for what types of books, movies, and magazines I like to consume. So those are my answers to those four questions, guys. And I encourage you to answer those 4 questions for yourself. Because answering these 4 questions, it will give you a clue. Who knows? Maybe answering these 4 questions will paint the entire picture of your life's purpose. You spend some time answering these 4 questions. Maybe it takes you an hour. Maybe it takes you a day. Maybe it takes you, I don't know, half a day. Maybe it takes you a week. But at the end of it, when you can answer these questions and understand and go through whatever, like, if you find it difficult, like, push through it and get to the answer of these questions, because the answer of these questions are the answer of what your purpose is. So, you know, your purpose is where your passion and your joy intersect. I said that earlier. So answer these 4 questions, and then review your answers. Look back over the answers to what those 4 questions are. I just gave you my 4 answers, so we got a couple people still here. If you guys want to contribute and chime in on what you think my purpose in life is, based on what you've heard me talk, I would love that. I would love for you to chime in and tell me here live. If you're watching this on a replay, I would love for you to, maybe if it's on a blog post, which more than likely it'll probably end up on a blog post somewhere. I would love for you to tell me what you think my purpose is. Based on, I just read to you my answers to these 4 questions, and I kind of poured my heart out. All right, it was a little bit scary for me to actually read you these answers. And so if you would, like, now that you've heard my answers, what do you think my purpose is? I would love your feedback. Like, I know I've read through my answers, I've reviewed my answers, and I'm going to go back and watch this video again and see if I can connect some dots and maybe get even some more clarity on what my purpose is. But I would love that outside perspective. I would love your outside perspective, so let me know. And if you're watching this here live on Periscope, there will be a blog post about this. I'll tell you about it when it goes live. I would love for you to come and comment. You know, in the meantime, maybe if there's not a blog post and you feel inspired to tell me, you can email me at justin@results513.com. Because the reality is, guys, it's great to go through this process and understand what it is that you're here to do. But the next step is, you know, once we understand that, I know for me, boy, what happens? When I understood what I'm supposed to do, holy shit, fear came out like a mofo. It seems like for most people, when there's something that stops them in their tracks, like the one thing that stops people in their tracks from living their purpose is fear. Some fear of some sort stops them. And it's a different fear for everybody, but it's fear. And so I'm going to be talking about in future broadcasts how to deal with that. Matter of fact, I actually have talked a lot about that. And if you haven't seen the other blog posts, you can go to results513.com/5lessons. The number 5 and then the word lessons, that'll take you to a great blog post that I wrote that has some action steps on how to recognize, acknowledge, and get through fear when it comes up. And I'm going to be talking a lot more about this in the future, so thanks again so much for watching this, guys. I appreciate it. The sun has gone down. It's getting dark. The bugs are landing on my phone. Excuse me. Get away. Get away. Get off my phone. I think I'm getting text messages that dinner is ready, so I've got to go. This has been awesome. It's been fun. It's felt good to actually say this. My voice made it through. So give me a couple of hearts, just final hearts, just to let me know that you're still here. Give me one word that describes what you just experienced. It shows there's a few people here. I'm curious. Give me a word. Let's see. We got Markwell still here. Elizabeth is still here. Thank you guys so much. Give me a word. I've talked. You guys may have missed the first part. If you did, oh man, you owe it to yourself to go back and watch the beginning. But whatever part of this you caught, drop me a word. Let me know if you found it valuable. Tap the screen. Let me know that you can hear this, and I'll end this broadcast. But regardless of where or when you're watching this, I just want to tell you, do yourself a favor. Go through this process. Discover what your purpose is. Figure it out. Because once you figure it out, life can get so much more fun. It does. It becomes more fun. So figure it out, and you know, if you're thinking, I don't know what that is, watch this broadcast again. Watch this video again and answer these 4 questions for yourself. I promise you, if you do, you will start to put together the pieces of what your purpose is, and you'll be able to step into that purpose and live an amazing life. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate all of you, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.